It's like, woo, we gonna get some tonight, girl. Oh, we gonna get some tonight, right? And then, and so you kick Dr. Boyce out, right? You're throwing out the logical side of your brain. You throw out the scary part of your brain that's going to warn you that danger's coming, and you're just in there having to play. You literally are like, like I don't know, like a fat kid in a crack house, right? And you're enjoying your life, and then after it's over, and then you hit reality again. Next thing you know, you got all these problems. All these problems that could have been easily prevented, but it would have taken some consciousness to be able to kind of back off and kind of think these things through. Now, what you do with this information is totally up to you. When I started realizing these things, some of this stuff I didn't even know when I was like 29, 30 years old. I wish I'd known this when I was 18, 19 years old. Um, because when you're young, all you know is like, oh, this feels good. Right, that's it. And the feeling can be so good that you're just like it makes all your problems go away. You're like, oh, in this moment, I feel amazing. And the problem is though that sometimes things that can feel good and be enjoyable may not be good for us. And I would argue that the goal of building the kind of life you want to have does require kind of having the ability to kind of see where these traps exist, right? So to some extent, the dopamine is a trap. A lot of people. So when you look around and you see people making one bad decision after another, you should just know they're probably a dope addict. And it's not the dope that you think that we would normally be talking about. It's the dopamine. I consistently seek pleasure because I'm covering up and masking and dealing with maybe some unhealed trauma that's causing me, certain amounts of pain. And when I'm in the midst of pleasure, I can escape from the pain that I'm feeling, which is actually another argument as to why you really want to pay attention to these therapists out here that want to help you. Because if you can heal from the pain and if you can take a step back, and therapy and consciousness are deeply connected. A lot of my consciousness concepts that I share with you guys in class every single morning come right out of therapy. Because sometimes you'd be amazed at how much better your life is if you just take a moment by yourself and think about things a little bit. Or imagine if they had a law that says that before you sleep with a person, because society does not want to take care of your kids, before you sleep with a person, you have to have a 2-day waiting period where you've got to process it, or maybe you got to apply for a sex license or something, right? Like you get a marriage license, you got to get a sex license before you go and ruin your life or ruin the child's life or end up, doing something unfortunate later on because of a mistake. Like so many people's lives end up being built on this big pile of mistakes. And these so-called mistakes really are, in my view, they are decisions that were made without proper thought, without proper preparation. And one of the things I said to our 14-year-old yesterday, which I say to her all the time, is I said, well, preparation is the key to success. That person, and it's not just, again, it's not just in the sexual space, it's really everywhere, because the dopamine hits come from not just the sex, it can come from food that you eat, right? You eat certain food, they know how to manipulate the dopamine levels. Social media, they know how they manipulate dopamine. That's why their products are addictive. That's why they make billions of dollars. I could keep going down the list, but I hope you get the point. Do you all get what I'm saying? Let me know if you get what I'm saying. And I'd encourage you to kind of use this information, empower yourself so that you'll know what's happening when it's happening. Like if you say, gosh, I for some reason this lady is so attractive to me right now. Well, you got to think about the dopamine. What's going on with the dopamine? Maybe you don't need to sit down next to her when you're talking to her.